who are the respective constituencies of the two major parties in Australia? The ALP is the public servants. I haven't talked about the public sector. Before we go, I'll do that.
Absolutely.
The public sector, the beneficiaries are served by the public sector. The universities, probably 80% of teachers in the public system, probably only about 30-40% of the nurses. Most of them are very conservative. I figured that one out. The unions themselves, big business. Nearly all of the union, non-government union membership is through big businesses, through EBAs where, because there's a limitation and only ALP unions can negotiate them, you find firms like Coles and Woolworths and Kentucky Fried and all those major firms, they don't pay penalty rates at the same level as their smaller competitors on the award.
Right.
And all the changes to the casual rules were designed to penalise small business. Now, who's left? Well, small business, the employees of small business and the owners. They are a pretty tight bunch, a lot of them. And the other one, this is the interesting thing, the workers of big business. The checkout chick at Woolies, she's a conservative.
Yeah.
She doesn't want a change. The HR manager, Labor. Oh, DEI, very important. I write all that, I do that. So there's your group. But you add up all the employees, the wage-earning employees and the tradies, CFMEU, 80 to 90% of them would not vote Labor.
Yeah.
They're on 200 and 250,000.
Yeah.
You know, in Queensland we're having a bloody inquiry in to find out whether they're bad. We should be running a parallel inquiry to find out whether water is wet. I mean, really? Just let them leave. 19,000 out of the 20,000 CFMU workers in Queensland would leave tomorrow if they thought they could go onto a bloody construction site without having to have a CFMU ticket. Just let them go. Which means, of course, changing the law to allow alternate unions to form.
Right. That doesn't exist right now, is that right?
Well, we get around it because we've got our own law firm and we can, in practice, do what they do, but they hate us for it. But there shouldn't just be us. It should be anyone who wants to form a union should be able to do it.
Sure.
And so you have a proper competitive marketplace.
Yeah.
And the CFMEU, essentially what commercial construction workers do is not that much different from house building, right? House building, they don't do form work, most houses. So, and commercial construction is mainly form work, but just a specialised form of carpentry, right? We know the number of union members in the house building industry is about zero. If you remove the requirement to have a CFMEU ticket, you need to set up alternate union structures, enterprise unions in the short term. But within 5 years, they'd all leave, and they'd all be at the same level of union membership as the house building workers. It's the same guys, right?
Right.
House building guys can go on the construction side, and if they're a carpenter, they can learn how to do form work pretty quickly. And the guys that are form work, with a bit of a brush up, they can go and work on a house as well. There's the different skill levels, but they're good. They can adapt. So that's how we solve the problems. But the final point, the public sector.
If I can just take 20 seconds of your time, I apologise for interrupting this clip. If you'd like to support Turning Point Australia and what we're doing to help keep the lights on and keep the work going moving forward, please check out our website at tpaust.com.au. We've got a range of merchandise, whether it's the Make Australia Great Again hat, whether it's the other shirts that we have, or the educational maps that we have. Please go and support. If you don't want to buy any merch, that's fine. You can also support us by buying us a coffee and becoming a regular subscriber for as little as $4 a month. I'll let you guys get back to it. Thank you so much.
Why do we have... you're in a business. You have to you know, look, you have to get members in, and you have to earn an income. And if you don't have sort of viewers, then you're not going to have an income. So you have to perform. The public sector's different. They don't have to perform. Minister. Oh, yes, we can do that. Oh, we hadn't thought of that. What a good idea. We shall provide this service to the people. Yep. Whatever. And then 12 months later, you have a look and say, well, please, Sir Humphrey, can you report back on what happened? Well, it started off well, but we actually ended up not doing anything. So how much did it cost? Oh, it was only 55 million, but why didn't it work? Oh, we didn't really have enough resources for it. What happens to Sir Humphrey? Nothing.
It increases in money.
So what should I do, says the politician? More money. So if there was better resources.
Yeah. We're getting serious about it. We're putting another 20 million towards this every year, plus the other 55 million on top every year.
Well, we're really personal knowledge and well developed about the health system in particular. We have a pretty good health system. It just costs probably 3 times more than it should. That's all. 3 times more than it bloody should. The ratio of bureaucrats to nurses, for every 10 nurses in the health system, is all of them, by the way, between 4 and 5 bureaucrats. The ratio should be 10 nurses, 1 bureaucrat. You don't need 5 administrators for every nurse. Now, it's not the best metric for measuring, but it's an emotive one. And it just demonstrates the fundamental problem. So the first call on, of course, the health budget to pay is obviously the administrators come first, and the nurses come second, and everybody else. So it's possible to reform the system, but I would suggest that there's no one in Australia that could really do it, would have the patience to do it. You've essentially got to give the work that's currently being done by bureaucrats right across the board. You've got to outsource it to other people, other firms, preferably for-profit firms. You'd simply say...
KPMG sort of thing?
Well, no, just to do anything.
To do anything, right.
Yeah.
Right, not just run the model.
Not for profits. There's nothing virtuous in a not-for-profit. I know, I've set them up. You just set up a service company and you just milk the money out if you wanted to. And we do it all. We do it the other way around. But we have an open process. But why wouldn't you just give the money to tender and whatever, let them provide the services? Why should there be public servants handing out licences?
Yes.
And registration stuff. I mean, this is AI could do 90% of it.
Yes.
So there needs to be a change of thinking where politicians have got to stop saying, oh, that's a good idea, we'll get the government to do it. They've got to start saying, well, let's undo everything that the government's doing.
Well, that's what we're seeing in the US, isn't it, with the Department of Government Efficiency and Doge, and they've got a national debt clock online, which actually shows you exactly how much they've actually cut. Sorry, I don't know why this ad is coming up, but the Doge clock, shows that the national amount they've cut is $617 billion and going up, whereas the national debt is $37 trillion. And so, look, we very much need a Doge in Australia to go after some of these institutions that are being weaponised against the Conservative side.
Well,
how does one do that?
Who wins? So why do we have high immigration? Who wins? You've always got to follow the money. Who's making the money out of this? Developers, yeah. But I don't think, they're sort of pretty open and obvious.
Well, we see them as more conservative, wouldn't we? More in the party camp, right?
Well, the more people are, the more units they're going to sell.
Sure.
No, the public servants have realised that anything that creates disharmony and dysfunction in the community creates more jobs for public servants. Who are the beneficiaries of this immigration? We need more schools, we need more hospitals. Who organises that?
Yeah, we need more language services. We need more, this and that, and LGBT.
All the dysfunction. We need more police, because they're raping our girls and whatever. That's more a coast problem in England, but
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching the show. I hope you enjoyed this particular clip. If you want to support this show and keep the lights on and support everything we're doing at Turning Point Australia, please head to tpaust.com.au, where we've got hats, we've got shirts, we've got maps. And if you don't want to buy any merch, that's perfectly fine. If you want to just buy maybe a cup of coffee a month, for as little as $4 a month, you can help us get a small long black to actually support the show and actually keep things going. Thank you guys so much for your support. Please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you later.